Okay. Welcome to our Zoom meeting, everyone. Happy Saturday. Thanks for joining us. And for those of you that are watching this later, watching the recording, welcome to our meeting. We have a weekly meeting to help you stay on track with your goals and to help you stay motivated and show you all the support that we have to offer with our groups. As we get started, we like to introduce everyone. So I'll start. I'm Shannon Galladay. I'm coming to you from Arizona, and I am a mom of two kids, ages 4 and 2. And I've been running. We've been training for a half marathon and doing Insanity and a little T25 right now. But I love these challenges. They help me stay on track, and especially with my eating. So that's why I wanted to do the challenge to help me with my eating mostly. So that's me. I'd like to go to Angie. You can introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Angie Peterson. I am in North Carolina, and let's see, what else did you say? I do these challenges because not only does it help me stay accountable, but I love to get ideas from the group. I like to see what everyone else is eating and kind of get ideas for, snacks and meals and things like that. Even though it's been over a year that I've been doing it, there's always something that I get out of every group, an idea for a snack or a meal or something. I'm like, oh, I've never thought of that. I want to try that, or I've never eaten that veggie like that. And so it's really good to get ideas. So I love that about the groups. And then also it keeps me accountable as well. And I love to interact with everybody else. So anyway, but yep, thanks.
Sure. Can you tell us how many kids you have?
Oh, sorry. I have 6. The oldest is 10, and the youngest just turned 5 months. So I've been exercising now for 4.5 months since I had the baby. It's been kind of slow going. I've been a little bit down that it's going so slow. I've only been losing about half a pound a week, but I just hit this last week. She is 5 months old this next week, and this last week I hit my 5-pound weight loss goal since I had her. So I was like, woohoo, and I got under 150, so I was really happy about that. So.
Awesome. Okay, we'll go to Karina.
I'm Karina. I have just one little girl. She's 16 months. I love doing these challenges because, like Angie said, you get a lot of input and a lot of information and a lot of ideas from different challenges, and it helps keep accountable. And I also like actually interacting with people who are like-minded. Like attracts like, and tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are. And I like to surround myself with people who are into fitness and into motivation and into just taking care of themselves and leading a healthier lifestyle. I'm just done having friends who just always want to party and drink, and I don't want to do that. So I feel like where do I go? Where do I belong? And I think it's really nice having these groups because everybody is focused on the same thing. And yeah, we may not all be perfect and have our own little vices here and there, but it helps us keep each other motivated, being in a group and in a community. So that's it.
Awesome. Welcome. So thanks for joining us, everyone. We have an awesome support group and great group to help inspire and motivate everyone. So it's so fun. Okay, so now we're going to go through everyone and tell your biggest success for the week with your health and fitness. So it can be on anything, just anything you were working on this week. What was your biggest success? So my biggest success was waking up early to do my workouts. I kind of got a little off track, but I've been focusing on trying to go to bed before 10 o'clock and waking up at 5:15 in the morning and doing my workout. So I did that pretty good this week. So success, woohoo! Awesome. Okay, let's go to Angie. What's your biggest success?
Oh, I kind of already said it, but I reached the 10-pound goal and got under 150 this week, so I was happy about that.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, Karina.
My biggest success this week was I was focusing on trying to eat multiple meals, and every time that I fed my daughter, I try to feed myself, and I was pretty good about it. So I'm pretty excited that I'm back to eating smaller meals and more frequent. So I like that. That was my success.
Awesome. Congratulations. Good job. Okay, awesome. Well, this recording is for two different groups. So one group, the Beat the Treats group, was on week number 1. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So week number 1 is all about organizing your time and making sure you have your priorities set, and then you're working your time around your priorities. So I think everyone here, we're in the Beat the Treats challenge, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Let's just go one by one and talk about how we've been organizing our time to be able to get everything in. So this is something that it's like a work in progress for me, but I've been really trying to work on it. Like I say, to go to bed early and wake up early. For me, I feel like when I do that, everything else kind of works out. Another thing I did last week that I was really proud of myself is I planned my meals for this week last week, and so doing that, scheduling my meals, and then cooking more this week because I had it all planned out made a big difference. So that was good for me. But let's hear from you guys how it went organizing your time. So let's start with Angie.
Hi, everyone. What works best for me, like Shannon, is to wake up early. My husband's in the Army, and so he wakes up sometimes 4:45, sometimes 5, and I like to get up with him and make him breakfast and pack his lunch and stuff for the day. And then I used to go back to bed because it was so early and I was always tired, but I've been trying to make myself stay awake and do my workout. And with the baby, it's really hard because even if I am up that early, she always wakes up at least once, sometimes 4 or 5 times during the workout. And so a lot of times I'll start it at like 5 and I won't end until like 8:30, but at least that's like when all the other kids are asleep. So like today I was telling Shannon I didn't get up early enough to do my workout this morning, and went to the store and everything this morning, and now I need to do my workout in the afternoon when all the kids are awake, and it's going to be a disaster, but at least I'll get it done. But yeah, if I don't schedule it first thing in the morning, it just kind of is really, really, really hard. So and then another thing I've been doing this week, I have been trying to make extras of everything. I tend to do that anyway with dinner so that we have leftovers for lunch the next day, but I've been trying to make like a huge salad for dinner and make enough for like 2 or 3 days and then just eat that for the next couple of days. Sorry. And so it's a lot easier for me just to kind of grab it because it's been so chaotic this last week that I just had a ready-made meal where I could just grab it and go, and that makes it a lot easier. And that's one thing I love about Shakeology as well, because that's something that, like, if the baby's screaming and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to eat, I can just throw it in the blender and it takes 30 seconds and there's my meal. So I really love that about Shakeology. So I've been trying to do that as well, is just kind of make extras so that it's really easy for me.
Awesome. Thanks for the tips. Okay, Karina, how did it go in organizing your time?
Well, I sat down and I did a to-do list for my daily things to do. And so first thing I do is I look at my list and I'm like, okay, I got to do this. Okay, I got to do that. And I just kind of mark it off as I go. It's kind of like always there. And I also have a copy of it posted on my fridge so that if I get distracted or whatever, and I look at my fridge, because you always got to reach for food to feed your kids or even yourself or even to get a drink. So then I see it and I remember, and then I try to get back into what I'm supposed to do for the day. So that's a tip that's been working for me somewhat. I'm a work in progress when it comes to organization. So I like to try different things. I used to try it on my phone, having a little to-do list on it, but sitting down and putting a reminder, I think, is the next thing that I'm going to try for meals so that I eat consistently every 2 hours. I mean, I eat often, but I don't gauge it. So I think I need to get a little bit more on strict on that. And so that's what I'm working on my organization.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. I love hearing everyone's tips. Very helpful. Okay, and so then the other group that we're doing is the Spooky Challenge, and they're going into to week number 3, and so week number 3 is a little bit different than what we're doing with the Beat the Treats, but we're focusing on exercise this next week and exercising at the right level and making sure that you're doing the right intensity. And so anyway, we're going to be talking about that this week. We switched it up. So the Beat the Treats is the first challenge that we're going to do. Week number 3 is about mindset now. We're going to talk about, focusing on talking to yourself good, like you can do it, and being positive, because a lot of times we're really hard on ourselves looking at everything we're doing wrong instead of everything we're doing right. So anyway, we just made that change this last week. But okay, so we just have a few minutes left in this call, and we just like to open it up. Like if there's anything you guys are struggling with, or anything you guys want to bring up to the group, feedback on how the group's going, anything that you guys want to talk about. I know for me, like, just to bring up different struggles, so one of my biggest struggles is going to bed early. I know I kind of talked about that already, but so that's what I'm consistently working on. But when I go to bed early, then I wake up early and everything kind of works out. And so, for me, like things that I struggle with, like going to bed early, or like I have a hard time with like eating too many sweets sometimes, but I've been doing better on that. But don't beat yourself up. I guess that's the biggest tip that I have, is like if you're struggling with something, like if I was like, oh gosh, like I can't go to bed early every night and I might as well just quit. Like, no, like I just keep like making it a goal, and then the more you make it a goal and the more you move forward, the more that it gets easier and you start doing it more. And like with me, I made a goal this Halloween not to eat any treats, because we had one of my groups that I'm in, we made a goal not to eat treats this Halloween, and I thought that was going to be really hard because I really like gummy snacks. I know that's kind of like a weakness. And even my daughter got some really good gummy snacks in her trick-or-treating, but I stayed strong and I withheld that. So anyway, those are kind of my struggles and some things that I do to overcome them. But what about you guys? Let's go with Angie. Some things that you're working through.
One thing that I've been kind of struggling with is that I always pick workouts that are more on your feet workouts, because I can't do anything with my hands. I have arthritis really bad, and so I can't grip dumbbells, and I can't push down with my hands on the floor with body weight. And so I've been trying to figure out a way to modify push-ups. And most of the workouts that I do, there's not a lot. But at the end of the combat workouts, the longer ones, they have like a segment where they're doing push-ups. And the only thing I can figure out, and maybe you guys can help me, is to lay on my back and I've got ankle weights that I put around my wrists instead of dumbbells. And so I'll put those around my wrists and just kind of lay on my back and just like do my own resistance and kind of do the best I can. But that's the only thing I've been able to figure out as far as like a push-up, modifying it. I've tried to do it against a wall and kind of lean up against the wall, but even that will put too much pressure on my wrists and make it really painful. But maybe, I don't know if you guys could think of anything else, but that's my biggest struggle, is just figuring out different ways to modify things. Planks, I kind of just do them on my elbows the best I can. And even that, a lot of times I'll be doing like mountain climbers or something. I'm like, I can't, like, there's not enough room for me. And I'll try and like lean on the couch sometimes and do it that way. But that's the hardest thing for me, is just to figure out, I'm like, okay, they're doing it this way, so how can I fix it to where I can do it? But So I don't know if you guys have any suggestions about that, but that's my biggest struggle.
I have a little bit of a suggestion. Well, I haven't really tried this myself, and how am I going to explain it? But I had my capoeira teacher was mentioning to me, because I was saying how I want to get stronger at push-ups, and I feel like my wrists sometimes hurt if I do it too often or whatnot. And I know that you have problems with gripping, like the stuff. So like there's push-up bars that you put on the floor, and that you're supposed to be easier. It doesn't really work for me. But I was thinking, since you were mentioning the plank, which was actually what I was thinking about, maybe going into a plank kind of thing. And the way that my instructor was telling me that you can progress to the push-up is you start doing hips, like you put your hips on the floor and you push yourself up with your hips on the floor. So you just basically, if this is your whole body and this is your if this is your hips, you're just doing this off the floor instead of doing this with the push up. And then eventually you can get onto your knees, and then eventually onto your feet, and then do the whole push up like that. So I was thinking, if you go on your actual hips and you do like the plank position, and you kind of just push off, that might actually work. I haven't tried it myself, but it just popped in my head. Maybe, I don't know.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll have to try that. That's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that one.
Yeah, great idea. I think too, like what you're doing with the hand weights on your wrist, I think that's a really good way to do it, because then you could increase the weights on your wrists and get some more resistance. So yeah, great tips.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Okay, Karina.
What was the question?
Oh, that's okay. So what are some things you're struggling with?
Okay. Consistency, I think, is my biggest struggle. I mean, I know that nobody's perfect, but I always kick myself for it if I'm not perfect. If I don't follow the workout plan 100%, I beat myself up for it, and I get discouraged. But I've been working on just another day, going ahead forward, and just not being discouraged. This whole week, I've ran once apart from today, and it was supposed to be 3 days a week, every week. And so I was discouraged, and I thought, I have my 5K race tomorrow. Excuse me, my 5K race tomorrow, and I haven't even run much this week. And then I was like, you know what? Whatever. Today is a good day. I know it's pre-race day, and supposedly a lot of people like to rest before the race day, but whatever. I'll just start running, and I won't kill myself and try to increase my pace significantly, but I just want to get out there and run. And I ended up doing pretty well. And so I think for me, it's just my biggest struggle is starting back up if I have an off day. I think that's my biggest struggle. But I'm just working at it one day at a time, and I'm sure that a lot of the motivation that I'm getting is from excuse me, from the workout challenges groups, because I see everybody working out, and you, Shannon, doing your Insanity or your T25 and running, and I'm like, oh my God, how does she do it? Okay, I better get out there and do something. I'm not even doing a 15K, I'm just doing 5. So I think that's helping.
Awesome. Well, you're doing great, and it definitely motivates me, like, to see everyone's posts, and days when I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to wake up, and then I'll open up the group and I'll be like, oh, they already did the workout, because I'm on the West Coast, and I'll see the East Coast people already did it, and I'm like, oh gosh, I better get going. And so yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, something with consistency, because it is hard, like kind of getting up and getting in the groove of doing it consistent. But the thing that has really helped me is like just celebrating what you're doing right. Like, even if you write it down or something, but like at the end of the day, like you have like a journal or piece of paper or something, and you write like everything you did right for the day, and focus on what you're doing right and celebrate those successes. And then because it's really easy to say like, oh, I didn't work out, I didn't eat healthy, I didn't do this, and it kind of weighs you down and pulls down your motivation. And so, but when you let go of what you're doing wrong and focus on what you're doing right, even if you did 10 things wrong and one thing right, but you're focusing on what you did right, then that propels you forward and gives you that positive energy and motivation. And because you want to hold on to the positive energy, you don't want to hold on to the negative. And so anyway, that makes a big difference. And then also, like some incentives, like you could, offer to give someone like a $50 check. Like you write a check to them and you tell them your goal. And then if you don't do the goal, then you owe them the check. But if you do the goal, then you get the check. And so anyway, I've had people do that, even like $100 or, whatever like motivates you, but you like, whatever is on the line. Like I know money motivates a lot of people, but, or you could like go shopping, and I've done this, like get like smaller pants sizes and put them somewhere where you can see it. And then it's like, oh yeah, like that's how I want to get into those pants. Or like I'll put pictures of, on the fridge of like how I like look my best. And so whenever I'm going to get like gummy snacks or, whatever, then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just have 2 instead of like the giant like 5 serving bag, like I'm just going to like have a little bit, so but anyway, yeah, think of things that motivate you, and those are just some tips that help me. So awesome. Okay, great. Well, we're just about out of time. So is there anything else that you guys wanted to say?
One thing that helped me as far as Karina's thing, I remember Jen and I were roommates in college and for our freshman year, and one thing that we'd have these checklists of things to do, and my checklist at first always looked like write midterm paper, take science tests, things like that, and Shannon's checklist was take a shower, brush my teeth, and like she was always checking things off, and I was like, I need to do that because it's such a great feeling to check things off that I really took. I always remember that, Shannon. I don't know if you know that, but so when I make my list, I'm like, okay, like feed the kids lunch, and like, cause just checking things off makes you feel so great that you're doing something. And so instead of like having these huge goals, like do little goals, and then it makes you feel like you're progressing and you're doing something instead of looking at this list that you're not checking anything off of because they're such big things. So even if you do like say like change into my workout clothes, take a shower, things like that. So you're doing like checking things off so you feel like you're accomplishing something. So
oh, that's awesome. I forgot about that. Yeah, I
like that.
Yeah, I still kind of do that. So I guess yeah, it helps me because then I'm like, yeah, I made my bed. It counts. Like sweet. So awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. It's been a great meeting today, and we're going to do this every Saturday morning. So join us next week for our next motivation, and invite people that weren't here in the group so we can all cheer and support each other. I'll post this recording, so for those that couldn't make it live, we'll have the recording. But enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you in the groups. Thanks.